All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're taking a deep dive into a wine region that might just blow your mind.
Buckle up indeed.
We're heading to Brazil, but not to the rainforest. Nope. This time we're going to the Vale de São Francisco.
Ah, yes, a region that's about as far from your typical wine country image as you can get.
Right. It's dry, it's sun-drenched, and yet somehow it's producing some seriously delicious wines.
It really is quite remarkable. What immediately struck me about the Vale do São Francisco is the stark contrast. It's a semi-arid landscape known for things like tropical fruits, mangoes, guavas. You wouldn't exactly picture vineyards thriving there.
Yeah, not exactly rolling hills and chateaus.
Precisely. And yet here we have a burgeoning wine industry, one that's turning heads and challenging expectations.
Well, one thing that definitely caught my attention was the fact that they have 2 harvests a year.
Ah, yes. The two harvests, that's a defining characteristic of the Vale de São Francisco. It's made possible by a combination of the unique climate and some seriously innovative irrigation techniques.
See, that's what blows my mind. Most wine regions would kill for that kind of productivity. 2 harvests a year. It's like a winemaker's dream.
It is quite a remarkable feat. It really speaks to the ingenuity and adaptability of the winemakers in this region.
So let's talk history for a minute, because we're not talking about some ancient winemaking tradition here, right? This is a relatively new phenomenon.
You're absolutely right. While Brazil does have a long history of winemaking, primarily in the south, the Vale do São Francisco is a much more recent development.
Okay, so no recent are we talking about?
Think back to the 1960s. At that time, the region was primarily known for its production of table grapes.
Table grapes, so basically the kind you snap on. Not exactly the stuff of fine wine.
Exactly. It was all about simple table wines back then. But then, in the 1980s, things started to shift.
Ah, so that's when the magic happened.
You could say that the 1980s marked a turning point with the introduction of high-quality wine grapes specifically chosen for their potential to produce fine wines.
Okay, so who were the pioneers? The risk-takers who saw the potential of this unlikely region?
There were a few key players, but two names stand out, Miolo and Garciata. These wineries were among the first to really embrace the challenge of producing world-class wines in the Vale do São Francisco.
And they weren't just winging it, were they? Wasn't there some serious science involved?
Oh, absolutely. We can't forget the incredible contribution of Embrapa Semiárido.
Embrapa Semiari.
Yeah, it's a research institute that's dedicated to developing and adapting agricultural techniques for semi-arid regions.
So basically, they're the brains behind the operation?
Exactly. They played a pivotal role in figuring out which grape varieties would thrive in this unique climate and what kind of viticultural practices would be needed to ensure success.
It's like they cracked the code for winemaking in the desert?
In a way, yes. Their work was absolutely essential in laying the foundation for the quality wines that we see coming out of the Vale do São Francisco today.
So we've got sunshine, we've got a history that's more recent than you might think, but what about the land itself, that magical terroir that makes a wine truly unique? What are we dealing with here?
Ah, terroir, the heart and soul of wine. And in the Vale de São Francisco, it's a story of extremes, intense sunlight, scorching heat, rainfall so scarce it might as well be a desert.
Okay, so not exactly your typical leisurely stroll through a vineyard.
Not quite. The lack of rainfall means that irrigation is an absolute necessity. And that's where the São Francisco River comes in.
Ah, the mighty São Francisco River, the lifeblood of the region.
Exactly. It provides the water that sustains these vineyards, making this whole winemaking endeavor possible.
Okay, so we've got the river keeping things alive, but what about the soil itself? Does it play a role in all of this?
The soil is actually quite diverse. It ranges from sandy stretches to areas with rich clay deposits. This variety, combined with the unique microclimates that are created by altitude variations and proximity to the river, results in a truly fascinating tapestry of terroir.
Wait, microclimates, you piqued my curiosity. Now you're really talking my language.
Think of it this way. A vineyard that's located on a higher elevation slope might experience slightly cooler temperatures than one that's closer to the river.
Okay, I can see how that would make a difference.
Absolutely. This subtle difference in temperature can have a huge impact on the grapes, influencing things like ripeness and acidity. It's these nuances that make the wines of the Vale do São Francisco so captivating.
So we're not just talking about one big homogeneous region. It's like a mosaic of little pockets, each with its own personality.
Precisely. And that's what makes exploring the wines of this region so exciting. There's always something new to discover.
Okay, I'm sold. But now I need to know what kind of grapes can actually handle this dramatic setting. Let's talk varietals. What are the stars of the show?
Well, let's start with the whites. One grape that's truly thriving in this region is Chenin Blanc.
Chenin Blanc. Really, I always think of Chenin Blanc as being from the Loire Valley in France.
It is a French grape, but it's incredibly versatile, and it turns out it loves the heat of the Vale do São Francisco.
So what kind of Chenin Blanc wines are we talking about?
You'll find a range of styles from light and crisp with citrus and mineral notes to richer, more textured expressions with hints of honey and spice. Some producers are even experimenting with oak aging, which adds another layer of complexity.
Okay, Chenin Blanc, check. What other white grapes are making a name for themselves in this unexpected terroir?
This one might surprise you, Sauvignon Blancs.
Sauvignon Blanc, seriously.
I know. It's not a grape you typically associate with hot climates, but in the Vale du San Francisco, it expresses itself in a way you won't find anywhere else.
So we're talking tropical Sauvignon Blanc. What does that even taste like?
Think vibrant passion fruit guava, maybe some lime zest, all balanced by that telltale herbaceousness that Sauvignon Blanc lovers crave.
Okay, you've officially blown my mind. Sauvignon Blanc going tropical. Now I have to try this.
You won't be disappointed. And for those who enjoy a touch of sweetness in their glass, there's Moscato.
Ah, Moscato, always a crowd pleaser.
Exactly. It's aromatic, often made in a slightly sweeter style that's perfect for a warm climate. And some producers are even exploring the potential for sparkling Moscato.
Hold on, sparkling Moscato. Okay, that alone might justify a trip to Brazil. But before we get too carried away with the bubbly, are there any other white grapes worth mentioning?
Of course, so we can't forget about Chardonnay. It's a grape that seems to adapt well to just about any environment.
Chardonnay, the chameleon of the wine world.
Exactly, and in the Vale de San Francisco, it's no different. It produces a range of styles, from crisp and unoaked to richer, more full-bodied versions with subtle oak influence.
So there's a Chardonnay for every taste.
Absolutely. It's another example of the incredible diversity that this region has to offer.
All right, so we've got a surprising array of whites. But we can't forget about the reds. This is Brazil, after all, land of sunshine and bold flavors.
When it comes to reds, there's one grape that really steals the show, Syrah.
Syrah, interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that, but tell me more.
It seems to absolutely revel in the heat-producing wines with a depth of color-concentrated flavors of black fruit and spice, and this intriguing hint of smokiness.
Smoky Syrah. That sounds delicious.
It is, and these Syrahs have incredible aging potential. They can easily rival some of the best in the world.
Wow. You're making me reconsider my usual Cabernet Sauvignon habit.
Well, Cabernet Sauvignon is definitely a force to be reckoned with here as well.
So Cabernet fans don't have to feel left out.
Not at all. It adapts remarkably well, producing those classic blackcurrant and cedar notes, but with a vibrancy and juiciness that's distinctly Brazilian.
Okay, so it's Cabernet, but with a Brazilian twist. I like it.
And if you're looking for something a bit more elegant and complex, then Tempranillo is your grape.
Tempranillo. Okay, I'm starting to sense a theme here. These grapes are all about defying expectations.
You're catching on. The Tempranillos here are beautifully balanced with bright acidity, and they showcase those classic cherry and plum flavors, often laid with hints of leather and tobacco.
Sounds like the perfect food wine.
Absolutely, and we can't forget about Merlot. It thrives in the warmth of the Vale de San Francisco, producing wines that are known for their softness and approachability.
Ah, Merlot, always a good choice for a crowd-pleasing wine.
Exactly. Think luscious red fruit, hints of chocolate, and a velvety texture that makes them incredibly easy to drink.
All right, so we've got our grapes, we've got our terroir, but growing the grapes is just the first step, right? Winemaking in a place like this must come with its own unique set of challenges.
You're absolutely right. While the basic principles of winemaking remain the same, producing quality wines in a semi-arid region with 2 harvests per year requires a whole other level of adaptation and innovation.
I can only imagine. So what are some of the biggest hurdles that these winemakers face?
Well, temperature control during fermentation is absolutely crucial.
I can see how that would be a challenge in a place where the sun is constantly blazing.
It is. Maintaining ideal temperatures is essential for preserving those delicate aromas and preventing any spoilage. So modern wineries in the Vale de San Francisco are equipped with some pretty sophisticated cooling systems.
So basically, air conditioning is the most important piece of equipment they have.
You could say that, but it's not just about technology. Winemakers are also employing traditional techniques in new and innovative ways.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
One technique that's particularly well suited to this climate is carbonic maceration.
Carbonic maceration, I've heard the term, but I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it is.
It involves fermenting whole grapes in a sealed vat that's filled with carbon dioxide.
Okay, and what does that do to the wine?
It triggers a type of fermentation that happens inside the grape itself, which results in wines that are lighter in style, bursting with fresh fruit flavors, and incredibly refreshing.
So it's perfect for a warm climate.
Exactly. It's a technique that's become quite popular in the Vale de San Francisco because it really complements the region's climate and the naturally fruity character of the grapes.
So it's not just about adapting to the heat. It's about harnessing it, using it to create wines that are distinctly Vale de San Francisco.
Precisely. It's a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of these winemakers.
Well, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. But let's be honest, the real question on everyone's mind is, what do these wines actually taste like? Okay, so we've covered the grapes, the terroir, the winemaking challenges. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What can I expect when I actually pour a glass of Vale do São Francisco wine?
Well, you're in for a treat. The beauty of this region is its diversity. You'll find a whole spectrum of styles to explore, from those crisp, refreshing whites we talked about to rich, full-bodied reds that can stand up to some of the best in the world. And let's not forget those delightful surprises, like the sparkling Moscato that caught your attention.
Oh, believe me, I haven't forgot about the bubbly. But let's start with the whites. What kind of Chenin Blancs are you talking about here?
The Chenin Blancs from the Vale do São Francisco are a revelation. They really showcase the grape's versatility. You'll find everything from bright, dusty wines with that signature minerality and that green apple crispness to richer, more textured expressions that have hints of honey and spice, almost like a good Vouvray.
Okay, so Chenin Blanc is covering a lot of ground. What about that tropical Sauvignon Blanc you mentioned? It's hard to wrap my head around those classic grassy notes alongside like mango and passion fruit.
Trust me, it works. It's a truly unique expression of Sauvignon Blanc. You won't find it anywhere else. It's like sunshine in a bottle with vibrant aromas of passion fruit guava, maybe even a hint of lime zest, all balanced by that herbaceousness that we love in Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay, I'm sold. My Sauvignon Blanc radar is officially on high alert. Now for the reds, you've convinced me that Syrah is the star player. What am I in for when I open a bottle of Vale de São Francisco Syrah?
Get ready for an explosion of flavor. Think ripe blackberry plum, maybe a touch of black pepper, and that intriguing hint of smokiness we talked about. It's full-bodied with firm tannins, but still balanced and elegant. And it has incredible aging potential. It just gets better with time.
Okay, I'm starting to see why you're so enthusiastic about these Syrahs. But what about for those of us who might be more accustomed to, say, a classic Cabernet Sauvignon?
Cabernet Sauvignon lovers will find plenty to enjoy here too. It thrives in this climate, delivering those classic blackcurrant and cedar notes, but with a vibrancy and juiciness that's pure Brazil. Think structured tannins, elegant acidity, and a lingering finish that will keep you coming back for more.
So Cabernet, but with a Brazilian twist, I like it. Now, I'm curious about the Tempranillo. Does it bring that same Spanish flair to the Vale de São Francisco?
Absolutely it does. The Tempranillos here are beautifully balanced, with bright acidity showcasing those characteristic red fruit flavors like cherry and plum, and they often have these intriguing layers of leather and tobacco.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It is, and it's incredibly food-friendly. You could pair it with a wide variety of dishes.
Okay, Tempranillo is officially on my list. And of course, we can't forget about good old Merlot. What's it bringing to the party?
Merlot is right at home in the Vale do São Francisco. It loves the warmth, and it produces these wonderfully soft and approachable wines full of ripe plum and cherry fruit velvety tannins, a hint of chocolate, and a smoothness that makes it perfect for everyday enjoyment.
Okay, so we've got our whites, our reds, a taste of everything. But wait a minute. You mentioned surprises earlier. I'm all about surprises. What else is going on in the Vale de São Francisco?
Well, there's one trend that's really starting to take off: sparkling wine.
Sparkling wine in Brazil. Now, that is a surprise, but honestly, it makes perfect sense. Sparkling wine and sunshine, what's not to love?
Exactly. The climate is ideal for enjoying a glass of bubbly, and producers are experimenting with all sorts of grapes. Moscato Canelli is a popular choice. It results in sparkling wines with those lovely floral aromas and a touch of sweetness. But some producers are even using Chenin Blanc, which creates a drier, more crisp style with vibrant acidity.
Sparkling Chenin Blanc. Okay, now that's something I need to try. So we've got our still wines, our sparklers, but there's got to be more to the story, right? This region wouldn't be capturing so much attention if it were just about the grapes and the climate.
You're right, there's more to it. The Vale de São Francisco is facing some unique challenges, but it's also brimming with potential.
Let's talk about those challenges. Water scarcity is a big one, obviously.
Absolutely. Water is a precious resource in this semi-arid region, and wineries are constantly looking for ways to use it more efficiently. They're implementing innovative irrigation techniques, water conservation practices, and some are even exploring the use of solar energy to power their operations.
So it's not just about producing great wine. It's about doing it responsibly and sustainably.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of the environment and ensuring that the industry can thrive for generations to come.
What other hurdles are they facing?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is building a reputation in a global wine market that's already saturated with established regions. The Vale de São Francisco is still relatively unknown, and it takes time to gain recognition for producing high-quality wines.
It's the underdog story.
It is, but I have a feeling these wines are going to make their mark. They have the quality and the passion behind them.
I agree. So how do we get the word out? How do we introduce the world to the wines of the Vale de São Francisco?
Well, enoturism is playing a big role.
Enoturism. So basically getting people to visit the region and experience the wines firsthand.
Exactly. Imagine yourself surrounded by vineyards that stretch as far as the eye can see. The sun is warm on your skin. The air is filled with the scent of ripe grapes. You're sipping award-winning wines, learning about the unique challenges and triumphs of winemaking in this unexpected region, and experiencing the vibrant culture of the Vale de São Francisco.
Okay, you had me at sun is warm on your skin. I'm sold. But seriously, it sounds like enoturism is a key part of the equation.
It is. It's a fantastic way for people to connect with the region, to understand the terroir, and to meet the passionate people who are making these wines. It's also a great way to support the local economy. It creates jobs and helps local businesses thrive.
It's a win-win situation, all right? So we've got the winemaking, the challenges, the tourism boom. But let's get specific. What are some of the producers and wines that I should be on the lookout for? Give me some names to add to my shopping list.
Well, we already mentioned Yolo. They're a true pioneer in the region. And their Terra Nova Syrah is a must-try if you want to experience the power and elegance of this grape in the Vale de São Francisco.
Yellow Terra Nova Syrah, I got it. What about some of those delicious whites?
For a taste of that tropical Sauvignon, I highly recommend the Rio Sol Sauvignon Blanc from Vitignicola Sant'Emilia. It's bursting with passion fruit and guava, and it has a lovely, zesty finish.
Rio Sol, okay, that's going on the list too. What else should I be looking for?
Another producer that's doing really interesting things is Garziera. Their Terroir de San Francisco Cabernet Sauvignon is a beautiful expression of the region. It's balanced, elegant, and has those classic Cabernet Sauvignon notes, but with a touch of Brazilian flair.
Garcia Cabernet Sauvignon noted. Any other hidden gems I should know about?
If you're looking for something truly special, seek out the wines from Adega Biantetti Tedesco. It's a family-run winery that's producing small batch wines with a focus on traditional methods and local grape varieties. Their wines are a real labor of love, and they capture the essence of the Valley de San Francisco in a truly authentic way.
A family-run winery, traditional methods. Those are the kinds of stories I love to discover in a glass of wine, right? So we've got our big players, our hidden gems. What's next for this region? Where do you see the Vale de São Francisco heading in the future?
There's a real sense of optimism in the Vale de San Francisco. Winemakers are excited about the future, and they're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in this unique terroir.
So what trends are you seeing on the horizon? What's got you excited?
One of the most interesting developments is the growing interest in native Brazilian grape varieties.
Native grapes. Now, that's something I haven't heard much about. Tell me more.
These are grapes that are indigenous to Brazil, and they're starting to gain recognition for their unique qualities and their ability to thrive in the country's diverse climates.
So what are some of the names I should be looking out for?
There's the BRS rubéa. It's a red grape that's known for its intense color and bold, fruity aromas. It's showing a lot of promise for producing wines with a distinct Brazilian identity. And then there's the BRS Violeta. It's a white grape that's yielding aromatic wines with delicate floral notes and a refreshing acidity.
So they're going beyond the international varieties and really embracing what makes their region unique.
Exactly. It's a movement that's gaining momentum throughout Brazil, and it's adding another layer of excitement to the Vale de São Francisco. These native grapes are perfectly adapted to the climate, and they offer a glimpse into the future of Brazilian winemaking.
It's a whole new world of wine waiting to be discovered.
It is, and it's not just about the grapes. Another trend that's shaping the future of the Vale de São Francisco is the increasing focus on sustainability.
Sustainability is such a crucial topic these days, especially in a region that's facing water scarcity.
Absolutely. Winemakers here are acutely aware of the challenges, and they're dedicated to implementing practices that protect the environment for generations to come.
So what are they doing specifically?
They're employing innovative irrigation techniques, water conservation practices, and many are exploring alternative energy sources like solar power. They're committed to creating a legacy of sustainability, proving that it's possible to produce exceptional wines while respecting the environment.
It's a powerful message. It's about more than just the bottom line. It's about being responsible stewards of the land and ensuring a future for winemaking in this region.
Exactly. The Vale de São Francisco is setting an example for the rest of the world, showing that sustainability and quality can go hand in hand.
It's inspiring to see, and it makes me even more excited to support this region and the wines they're producing.
I agree. The Vale de São Francisco is a shining example of how passion, innovation, and a deep respect for the land can come together to create something truly special.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the Vale de São Francisco. I gotta say, my mind is still blown by all the unexpected twists and turns we've encountered in this Brazilian wine region.
It's certainly a region that challenges our preconceived notions, isn't it?
Yeah, big time. I mean, we've gone from sun-scorched desert landscapes to tropical Sauvignon Blanc and the promise of native Brazilian grapes, it's like a whole new world of wine has opened up.
And that's precisely what makes the Vale do São Francisco so captivating. It's a region that's not afraid to break the mold, to defy expectations, and to push the boundaries of viticulture.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners? What's the one thing you really hope they remember?
I think the biggest lesson here is the power of human ingenuity, the ability to adapt and innovate, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. The Vale do São Francisco is a testament to that.
It's funny, we started off talking about how this region challenges our preconceived notions of what a wine region should be. But now, thinking about the challenges these winemakers face, the water scarcity, the struggle to build a reputation, it's almost like those challenges are the very things that fuel their creativity and drive their innovation.
That's a brilliant insight. It's often when we're pushed outside of our comfort zones, when we're forced to think differently, that the most innovative solutions emerge. And those solutions, as we're seeing in the Vale do São Francisco, can lead to truly exceptional results.
So maybe limitations, obstacles, those are actually the keys to unlocking something truly unique and special.
It's a thought-provoking idea. Perhaps it's that very act of overcoming hurdles that imbues these wines with their distinctive character, their sense of place, their story.
Okay, now I'm really inspired. So for our listeners who are eager to dive headfirst into the world of Vale do São Francisco wines, what advice would you give them? Where should they start?
My advice, be adventurous. Be open to the unexpected. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone and explore the incredible diversity that this region has to offer. Try the Chenin Blanc, the Sauvignon Blanc, the Syrah, the sparkling wines. Seek out those smaller producers, the ones who are crafting truly unique expressions of this terroir.
So basically, throw out the rule book.
Exactly. Forget what you think you know about Brazilian wine, or even South American wine for that matter, and just be ready to be surprised.
I love it. Let your curiosity be your guide. Now, if our listeners ever have the opportunity to visit the Vale de São Francisco, would you recommend it?
Without a doubt. It's an experience that will stay with you long after you leave. To walk through those vineyards, to meet the passionate people who are making these wines, to taste the unique flavors of this land, it's truly unforgettable.
We've talked a lot about the wine itself, but I think it's important to remember that there's a bigger picture here. It's not just about grapes and fermentation. It's about a community, a culture, a way of life that's deeply connected to the land.
Absolutely. The Vale de São Francisco is a vibrant region with a rich history and a profound connection to its natural resources. And the success of the wine industry has had a ripple effect, revitalizing the local economy, creating jobs, fostering a sense of pride.
It's a reminder that when we support a wine region, we're not just supporting businesses, we're supporting a community, a way of life.
And in the case of the Vale São Francisco, we're supporting a region that's committed to sustainability, to innovation, to crafting wines that are truly expressive of their place.
So well said. As we raise a glass to the Vale de São Francisco, what are you most excited about for the future of this region?
I'm really excited to see how the next generation of winemakers continue to shape the identity of this region with their passion, their innovation, and their deep respect for the land. I have no doubt they'll continue to surprise and delight us with wines that are both unique and exceptional.
And hey, maybe one day Vale de São Francisco wines will be as sought after as those from Bordeaux or Napa Valley. I, for one, am betting on their success.
I am too. It's a region with boundless potential, and I think we've only just begun to glimpse what they're capable of achieving.
Well, I think it's safe to say that our deep dive into the Vale de São Francisco has been a resounding success. I've learned more than I ever expected, and I'm incredibly inspired by the passion and dedication of the people who are making this wine region thrive.
It's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you and with our listeners.
And to our listeners, we hope this episode has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the world of wine with a fresh perspective, with a sense of adventure.
Remember, the world of wine is full of surprises, so be open to the unexpected, be adventurous, never stop exploring.
Cheers to that, and cheers to the Vale do São Francisco, a region that's proving that great wine can come from the most unexpected of places. Until next time, happy sipping.